It's the Weather Xtreme video. This is the afternoon edition for Monday, August 24th. I'm James Spann. A nice cooler air mass coming in here tonight. That's going to set up some really nice evenings and early mornings this week. I like fall. Let's go in and check things out. Upper low is sitting well to the north, up around the northern part of the Great Lakes. Check some of the observations up there. It's pretty cool. Or Minnesota, 50 degrees, light rain, a northwest wind of 13 miles an hour at 2 o'clock. That doesn't seem like August. Down below that, there's a cold front coming through here. You can pick it out there in the cumulus field. You can see the front from near Athens down to about Vernon. And we might see a few widely scattered storms in advance of that front this evening, but many places will stay dry. Only 80s again today, Birmingham 86. This is the 9th consecutive day with a high under 90. And the string will continue pretty much all week long as this new air mass comes in from the north. Up north, you can see upper 70s for places like St. Louis and Louisville back in the cooler air. And again, around the Great Lakes, they are only in the 50s in many spots in Minnesota, Wisconsin, upper Michigan. There's the watch warning map, pretty quiet around the nation today. Convective outlook, no organized severe weather expected. And again, maybe a few widely scattered storms in advance of the front this evening, but after that, we'll be dry for a while. In fact, how about no rain for the next 5 days? There's the QPF chart. This is valid through Saturday morning. Nothing for the northern two-thirds of Alabama. Pretty unusual for August. Typically, we see afternoon and evening storms every day this time of the year. All right, let's check the big view in the tropics. Danny has dissipated. It's now an open wave in the Leeward Islands, so it's off the board. In the central Atlantic, that system around 45 west, that has a very high chance of being a tropical depression probably by the time you watch this, and ultimately Tropical Storm Erica. And then the next wave is near the Cape Verde Islands. Remains to be seen if that develops, so we'll kind of focus on the middle one here. Again, that looks very well organized, good outflow, and pretty high chance this will be at least a tropical depression as this video is released. There's the tropical modeling on Invest 98. You can see it bends to the north in about 4 or 5 days. And most of the models want to recurve this. Here's the GFS ensemble, and not all of the members do, but most of them recurve it. The mean is the black squares with the recurvature path, but we note a few members bring it up into the Florida Peninsula, so it's just too early to call. Let's say a high chance this recurves, but certainly it's not carved in stone. And we'll keep an eye on that. All right, model fans, here we go. The GFS, this is the 12Z run, valid tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Big trough in the east, and that's good news for us. Sunny, low humidity with highs in the low to mid-80s. No rain. We start the day probably in the low to mid-60s, and Wednesday morning, upper 50s are likely as far south as Birmingham. Again, the high will be in the middle 80s, sunny with low humidity, a beautiful day. Thursday looking good as well, mid to upper 80s. Friday, moisture creeps into Georgia and South Carolina from the Atlantic, but we are dry, mostly sunny on Friday, and again, upper 80s are likely. Now, as the weekend begins, a pretty moist flow is setting up for Georgia and South Carolina. We might need to mention the risk of a few showers near the Georgia border. For those communities along US 431 maybe, but most of the state Saturday should be dry with upper 80s, and then Sunday, moisture kind of creeps in from the east, and we'll probably need to introduce the chance of a few scattered showers or storms on Sunday. I don't think it rains a lot, but certainly some chance of that. And this is Monday of next week. You can see that we've got a big, deep trough over the Pacific Northwest around here. The heights are coming up. And again, there could be enough moisture for a few scattered showers and storms on Monday. And we note a surface low not too far from Tampa Bay. We have to watch for those little backyard systems that can form this time of the year. The Gulf waters are pretty warm. Here's the end of the forecast. This is Thursday, September 3rd. Upper highs on top of us. That'll suggest we get up in the low 90s. That looks relatively dry. Temperatures coming off the ensembles. Nice cool air the next few days. But next week, as we begin September, highs go back in the low 90s with lows mostly in the upper 60s. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream or the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.